The world as you knew it 60 minutes ago has officially been terminated, while the mainstream media is currently scrambling to frame a narrative that protects the administration, while news anchors are being told to sit on the most explosive story of the century. The United States Navy has just done the unthinkable. They have effectively shut off the Strait of Hormuz. This is a total naval blockade of the most critical choke point on the planet. But here is the part they are scrubbing from the reports, the part that has the Pentagon in a state of absolute paralyzed panic. Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy warships are already inside the strait. They are already there, and they aren't leaving. You need to see this right now because the truth is harsher than anything you will hear on the nightly news, and I'm going to reveal the smoking gun document from the National Security Council that proves the elites knew this would happen by the end of this video. In my time as a Marine Corps intelligence officer, having analyzed theater-level conflicts for decades and spent years tracking the movement of heavy armor and naval assets across the globe, I have never seen a blunder of this magnitude. This isn't just a tense situation. This is a geostrategic catastrophe. I am seeing the data from my sources, and the tactical reality on the water right now is a nightmare that the spreadsheet warriors in Washington never accounted for. They thought they could use the Samson option to crash the Iranian economy, but instead, they've just locked themselves into a cage with a hungry dragon. Close your eyes and try to visualize the strait. It's a narrow ribbon of water, a tactical funnel. The air is thick with humidity and the heavy metallic scent of marine diesel. Right now, the sky is flickering with the electronic signatures of 1,000 high-powered radars. You can hear the low rhythmic thrum of the massive turbines of an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, the USS Carney or the USS Mason, moving into a blocking position. But as they move, their sonar operators are picking up something they didn't expect. High-speed acoustic signatures, not Iranian, Chinese. The Type 052D Luoyang 3 class destroyers. They are sitting right in the middle of the deep water channel, effectively saying to the United States, "You don't own this water anymore." Stay with me because the most shocking part of this, the secret order from the White House that bypassed the Joint Chiefs of Staff, is coming in just a moment. Having walked the halls of power and analyzed the psychological state of decision makers for 30 years, I can tell you that the people running this show have no idea how the reality on the ground actually works. They think war is a game of numbers on a screen. They think because we have 11 carrier strike groups, we can dictate the flow of 20% of the world's oil. They are wrong. Right now, in the CICs of our ships, the tension is so thick you could cut it with a bayonet. Men and women are staring at screens that are saturated with Chinese jamming pulses. This isn't a skirmish, this is a total electronic warfare lockdown. The insider pride I once felt for our technological edge is being replaced by a cold, sickening realization we have just walked into a trap. The logistics of this shutoff are staggering. To effectively close the strait, the Navy is deploying Mark 60 Captor mines, encapsulated torpedoes that sit on the seabed, waiting for the specific acoustic signature of an Iranian hull. But those mines can't tell the difference between an Iranian tanker and a Chinese one once the shooting starts. If one Chinese hull is scratched, we are at war with the world's largest industrial power. And as I speak, Chinese tankers, part of their bridge to the world, are being escorted by those Type 052Ds. The U.S. Navy has shut the gate, but they've shut it with the Chinese already inside the house. Every 3 paragraphs, the stakes are being raised, and you need to understand the loop we are in. We started with a tactical blockade. Now we are in a regional standoff with the 2 greatest adversaries of the 21st century. But the next step is the one that hits your wallet. As of 30 minutes ago, the insurance markets in London have effectively stopped quoting premiums for any vessel in the Persian Gulf. This means the oil stops, not tomorrow, now. Let's talk about technical specificity because that's where the truth is hidden. The Pentagon is talking about freedom of navigation, but my sources are seeing Wave 55 of the Iranian coastal defense protocols being activated. They are unshuttering the Silkworm missile batteries. They are prepping the YJ-18 supersonic anti-ship cruise missiles, tech they got from the Russians and the Chinese. These missiles fly at Mach 3, hugging the waves, staying below the radar horizon of our Aegis systems until they are less than 20 miles away. At that speed, our crews have less than 30 seconds to react, 30 seconds to decide if they live or die. And the Chinese ships, they are equipped with the HHQ-9 long-range surface-to-air missiles. They have created a no-fly zone over the strait that covers our own ships. We are being bracketed by the very people we were trying to intimidate. Stay with me because I will reveal the smoking gun, the specific GPS coordinates of the Chinese intercept that the Pentagon is hiding by the end of this video. The emotional shift I'm feeling right now is one of pure, unadulterated patriotic anger. We are risking the lives of our sailors for a policy designed by people who couldn't tell the difference between a tactical retreat and a strategic surrender. We are sending boys from Ohio and Texas into a saturated environment where our billion-dollar SM-6 interceptors are being defeated by $50,000 electronic decoys. It is a betrayal of the highest order. Now let's move to the global economic collapse. This is the part the elites don't want you to think about while you're distracted by the drama. The petrodollar, the system where every barrel of oil must be bought with US dollars, is the only thing keeping our economy from looking like Weimar Germany. If the US shuts the strait and China provides a workaround for the rest of the world using the UN, the petrodollar dies instantly. Your bank account, your 401k, the price of the bread on your table, it's all tied to the security of those sea lanes. If gas hits $15 or $20 a gallon, which it will if this blockade lasts more than 72 hours, the US trucking industry collapses. The just-in-time delivery system that stocks your local grocery store will seize up. You are looking at empty shelves within a week. This isn't fear-mongering. This is the logistical reality of a nation that has outsourced its manufacturing and relies on a global supply chain that we just cut with our own sword. I have analyzed the psychological state of the elites in the Pentagon for years. They are arrogant. They believe that the Chinese will blink. But having spent time studying Chinese strategic thought, from Sun Tzu to modern naval doctrine, I can tell you, they don't blink. They wait. They have been waiting for this moment for 30 years. They have spent that time building carrier killers, the DF-21D and DF-26 missiles. These are the unthinkable weapons. They can hit a moving carrier from 1,500 miles away. And the Chinese ships inside the strait, they are the spotters. They are the forward observers for the kill shot. Stay with me because I'm about to reveal the smoking gun document, a memo from the Office of Net Assessment that warned this exact scenario would lead to a nuclear threshold within 6 days. The sensory drama on the ground is escalating. Imagine the silent service, our fast attack submarines like the Virginia class. They are under the water right now playing a deadly game of cat and mouse with Chinese sonar buoys. The ping of an active sonar hit is the most terrifying sound a sailor can hear. It means you've been found. It means you are a target. Flickering communication lines are being reported across the entire CENTCOM area of responsibility. This is the fog of war being artificially generated to hide the fact that we are losing control of the narrative. The historical context here is vital. In 1988, during Operation Praying Mantis, we destroyed half of the Iranian Navy in a single day. The elites in Washington think it's still 1988. They don't understand that the Mach 7 hypersonic signatures we are seeing now didn't exist then. They don't understand that the saturation tactics, using thousands of small explosive-laden drones in conjunction with heavy cruise missiles, can overwhelm even the most advanced Aegis system. We are fighting a 21st century war with a 20th century mindset. I feel a sense of grief for the troops. I see their faces in my mind, the young corporals and lieutenants who believe in the mission, who believe their equipment is invincible. They are being lied to. Having analyzed the theater-level capabilities of the Chinese Type 055, I can tell you it has more vertical launch cells than our ships. It has better radar integration, and it is sitting in the ideal tactical position to strike our fleet from the rear. The stress response loop is now moving to the existential scenario. When the blockade fails, and it will fail because we cannot sustain it against the combined weight of Iran and China, the US will be faced with two choices: admit defeat and watch the dollar vanish, or escalate to the use of tactical nuclear weapons. That is the unthinkable that they are discussing in the bunkers under DC right now. They aren't talking about peace. They are talking about yields and circular error probabilities. I need you to stay with me because I'm about to show you the smoking gun that proves the Pentagon has already lost contact with two of our forward operating units in the region. The technical specificity of the Aegis system is what the mainstream media misses. They call it a shield. I call it a saturated computer. In my time in military intelligence, I saw the test data. If you throw more than 100 targets at an Aegis system simultaneously, the processor begins to lag. It has to prioritize. And while it's prioritizing a swarm of cheap drones, the Mach 3 YJ-18 is already halfway through its flight path. The Chinese ships inside the strait are currently painting our ships with targeting lasers. This is a pre-kinetic act of war, and the Pentagon is telling our captains to stand down and wait for instructions. They are sitting ducks in a shooting gallery. The economic consequences for your family are immediate. I'm looking at the data for the repo market and the overnight lending rates. They are spiking. This is the sound of the global financial system's heart beginning to fail. If the U.S. Navy cannot clear the Chinese from the strait, the U.S. military is no longer the global policeman. And if we aren't the policeman, we don't get to print the world's money. It's that simple. Your bank account is essentially a debt instrument backed by the power of the U.S. Navy. If that power is proven to be a paper tiger, your money is just paper. I'm looking at the data from my sources, and they are confirming that the Chinese escort fleet is now numbering over 12 major surface combatants. This is the largest assembly of foreign naval power in the Persian Gulf in history, and they are there to protect global commerce from the unstable blockade of the United States. Do you see the flip? China is now the responsible actor on the world stage, and we are the rogue state shutting down the world's energy. This is the narrative shift that will destroy American influence for a century. I want you to feel the urgency of this moment. The orange skies over the Gulf aren't from the sun. They are from the constant flares and the burning of waste gas from the tankers that are now trapped. The sirens you should be hearing aren't on your street yet, but they are screaming in the halls of the Federal Reserve. The insider pride is gone. Only the insider warning remains. Stay with me because here is the smoking gun. I have obtained a transcript of a secure channel communication between the Chinese Ministry of Defense and the Pentagon from 40 minutes ago. The Chinese commander told the U.S. Fifth Fleet, and I quote, "Any attempt to activate mines in the deep water channel will be viewed as a direct kinetic strike against Chinese sovereign assets. We will respond with all necessary force." The Pentagon didn't tell you that. They told you they were monitoring the situation. They are hiding the fact that they have been given an ultimatum by a peer competitor. We are being bullied in our own lake, and the elites are too afraid to tell the American people the truth because they know it would cause a total panic. The technical reality of the Aegis saturation is that we don't have enough interceptors. Even if every SM-3 hits its target, we will run out of missiles before they run out of drones. It's a war of attrition that we are losing on day one. And the Chinese ships inside the strait are the checkmate piece. They have the inner line of communication. They can strike our ships from the landward side where our defenses are weakest. I'm feeling a rapid shift to patriotic anger. We have the best sailors in the world, the best pilots, the best Marines, and they are being sacrificed on the altar of geopolitical anxiety by people who haven't worn a uniform in 30 years, if ever. We are letting the petrodollar dictate our military strategy, and it's leading us directly into a conflict we cannot win. Look at your bank account one more time. Look at the numbers. Now imagine them being cut in half. That is the reality of the Strait of Hormuz shutoff. This isn't a foreign war. This is a domestic economic execution. The unthinkable nuclear scenario is the only card the Pentagon has left to play, and they are playing it with your life. The mainstream media is scrubbing the narrative as I speak. They are going to tell you the Chinese are assisting with navigation. They are going to tell you the blockade is precautionary. They are lying. The smoking gun is the reality on the water. The U.S. Navy has lost control of the Strait of Hormuz to a combined Russo-Iranian-Chinese tactical alliance. The gate is closed, the dragon is inside, and the elites are looking for the nearest exit. Stay alert. The data is changing every minute. The Mach 7 hypersonic signatures are the new reality. The Aegis Saturation is the new reality, and the truth is the only thing that can prepare you for the world that began 60 minutes ago. The world as you knew it is over. The reality on the ground is that the American century just ended in a narrow strip of water 10,000 miles away. Watch the markets, watch the fuel prices, and for the sake of your family, watch the truth. I will keep bringing it to you no matter how much they try to scrub it. Stay with me, the worst is yet to come.